First things first. Hey, what time is lunch?
Well, it's about noon, but so we could do your Q&A during lunch.
Okay.
All right.
That gives me stop because I know I can't take this man's lunch. I want to hear what y'all do, and I love you. I guess first of all, this is the first time I actually have had the chance, the privilege of speaking to the National Black Chamber of Commerce. And I want to share a story before I get into what I'm here to talk about. It won't take very long. But I've known this brother here, Harry Alford, since the mid-90s. And I want to let you know what a strong leader you have, but also an influential organization that you have. At the time, I worked for Desk Tech Energy, which became Dynegy. Probably nobody's heard of Desk Tech, but you might have heard of Dynegy. We were building a coal gasification plant in Terre Haute, Indiana. And the Legislative Black Caucus of that state was going to stop our plant. I found out about it around 2 p.m. one day, and I had a meeting with that caucus at 9 a.m. the next morning and leave Houston, be there in Indianapolis. And I resolved the issue with them, but they gave me this guy's name and gave him a call. Now, I was a middle manager at Desk Tech Energy, but I was a diversity manager at the time. But I had my own budget, and I believe that we were the first or one of the first corporate sponsors of the National Black Chamber. After I met with Harry, liked everything that was going on, we wanted more minority participation. I had this big budget. I mean, I spent $30 million on a power turbine, not bad enough. So a $5,000 membership was a piece of cake. Now,
a little bit higher these days, John.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry to give away the secrets. I mean, inflation and all. But this is the thing. The CEO wants to know, why are we a member of the national, or why are we a corporate sponsor of the National Black Chamber of Commerce? I said, well, they'll help us. That'll be good. And sure enough, a few months later, the National Chamber did a business plan for us because we were trying to negotiate a contract with the Oakland Port Authority, sell power. And because of that, we got that contract. $10 million contract. Okay? Now, now, this was back in the 90s, but I made it a point to let the CEO know, he thought, John, how did you do that? That was wonderful. Do you remember that question you had about the National Black Chamber?
Yes.
That's why. I told you they helped us. And the reason I want to say this is, first of all, to thank Harry for his leadership and for all that you guys do, but to let you know what a powerful organization you have if you just look into ways to utilize it. There are so many ways within corporate America that you guys can make inroads and be a positive change for the business community of African Americans. So anyway, I'll applaud you. Thanks a lot. Now, what I'm going to talk about, and hopefully this will be of interest to everyone here, is the Cooperative Purchasing Network. And I'm going to give you just a little history to explain where this came from. In the state of Texas, I am also one of the Houston people here. Yeah, no, Houston is well represented. But in the state of Texas, the educational system, the state educational system is divided into 20 regions. Each region has a service center, and they're responsible for all of the school districts in that particular region. Well, Region 4 is the region that supports the greater Houston area. 54 school districts. It is the largest in Texas. In 1997, Region 4, a service organization, said, what else can we do? We help with certifications, with educational issues. And the school district almost unanimously said, well, we have this problem with procurement. The state law says that anytime we spend more than $10,000, we have to have a competitive bid. So for a school district, you have a purchasing director, and he's having to orchestrate competitive bids for everything from school buses and air conditioning chillers to toilet paper. It was a problem. What can you do to help us? And that is what gave birth to the Cooperative Purchasing Network. What we did, and I was not with them at the time. In fact, I've only been with them for 1 month. But what TCPN did was they took commodities and services and issued RFPs for those, followed the state law, made sure that their request for proposal met every state regulation, and then out of that they selected a vendor based on best value, okay? And that's the way the state law in most places is worded. So we have a vendor or so that is selected in first one area then another. School districts loved it. They didn't have to do a competitive bid. They could go right to that vendor. Vendors listed on our website. The vendor could go directly to school districts. That was great. Cities started scratching their heads and said, well, hold on a minute. We have public funds. We have to comply with that same law. Can we use your vendor? Absolutely. State universities, can we use your, yes. All of a sudden, every public sector entity is now able to use the vendors that have been, vetted through our RFP process. Pretty soon, we started expanding into other states. At this point, we now have vendors, or our vendors are qualified in all 50 states of the United States. And that is for all public sector entities, not just school districts, state universities, cities, counties, state governments. Now, what that means to our membership, and our membership is made up of those public sector entities. Membership is free to all public sector entities and also nonprofit organizations. I already talked to Harry about joining so that you guys will be right there on our website getting any procurement that is sent out. Vendors can't join as members, but of course, you're who we're looking for. Now, the benefit, of course, to the public sector entity is that they don't have to have a competitive bid. They can go to our list of vendors, and I put a little flyer on your desk, or if you'll turn it over to this side, you will see our list of vendors. This is it might be a little dated, I think it's about a year old, but those are the vendors that have been approved by TCPN. Now, we're going to look back at this in just a minute. But what that means for this group of vendors is not only can our membership go directly to them without having to have a competitive bid, they can go to any public sector entity anywhere in the U.S. and provide their service, their product. And the minute that school district says, well, we have to have a competitive bid, they can point out that, well, hold on, we are a TCPN approved vendor. Really? You mean we can just do business with you? Absolutely. So that is the benefit to, I think, vendors. Not having to go through a second competitive bid for each and every public sector entity that you want to do business with. And we really encourage this membership to participate. Now, the reason I said I was going to come back to this is we have RFPs out on the street sporadically. It's not all the time. Like right now, there's one for roofing contractors. That is due November 12th. And if you look at our website, you'll see the current solicitations. I don't know when, well, I do know when the next one's coming out is mine, is for fuel hedging. My specific area of expertise is energy. I spent 25 plus years in the energy industry. I built power plants from California to the Netherlands. And to this day, I'm the only black